phone, so it's probably not the best quality. So I am on the North Wilts Canal right now. This is part of the Wilts and Berks Canal. It wasn't built by the Wilts and Berks, but it was purchased a little while after it was built. And basically the reason we're here is we're on a march, and if I turn the camera around you can see there's a whole bunch of people here, quite a good turnout actually, that are here to march against a development that's happening just beyond this bridge we're going to now. So with the developments that are planned, they are going to build basically so close to what is currently a cycle path that the canal won't be able to be restored. We've got Chloe just talking about the site at the moment. But yeah, so there's plenty of petitions going on. There's the Wilts and Berks one going on. There's also one from... Oh, yeah, cool. It's working. So someone's just let me know this is actually working, so I wasn't too sure. Yeah, and there's also Save the Oasis campaign, and we'll talk about the Oasis as we get across the other side there. This is going to be about an hour, so there will be little lulls in this, I'm afraid, but I will try and get some interviews with different people about how important this is to other people. Hey, people are saying hello. Can I respond to those? That's a big question. So I'm a bit new to this. Can I
respond to things if you'd like to? Hi Steve, so you've had meditation vacation, so
yeah.
Hi Steve.
Hi, that's Christian. Hello Christian. And
me.
yeah, that's you, yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit new to all of this. It's a bit of a different thing. But yeah, big turnout here. So what we're going under now is the planned route, which is slightly off from where the canal was. So the canal ran across here, and if you see that clump of trees up there, that was an old pound, and there was a lock on either side of here. So there was a lock roughly where this green area is now, and this is going to be the new route through. So the Oasis Leisure Centre, if you don't know it and you haven't been following my updates or updates from the Wilts and Berks or the Save the Oasis campaign or the Swindon Advertiser, all the many groups that are campaigning to save this, then it's basically a leisure centre that was built, I think probably in the 80s. It was huge, it was massive in the country. People used to come all across the country to go to it because of the wave machines, the slides and the facilities there. There was a big sports hall there that was used for gigs. I saw Stereophonics there and various other bands and stuff, and it was famous across the country. And what happened in, I don't know, 10-20 years ago, the council decided to start renting out leisure centres and giving them to companies to manage, probably about 10 years ago. And they gave it to this one group who ran it into the ground, and basically it's now owned by a company. The site's owned by a company on a long lease, and I'm not going to mention them for legal reasons, but their plan is to basically develop the whole site. There's a whole, I think it's 700 flats going in and 100 odd parking spaces or something like that, and they're going to get rid of the sports hall on the centre, and they want to rip up the wave machine, and all of this is actually protected. So what group is it that protects the Oasis? Can you remember?
What? The group
that protect the Oasis? It's English.
It's
This is Peggy, by the way.
Hello.
So Peggy's part of the Wilts and Berks Canal Trust.
The people that protect the Oasis,
It's English Heritage.
It's not English Heritage. It's Historic England. That's the one.
So
English Heritage.
The wave machine, the pool, and the actual dome, which you would have seen on footage before. I can't really show you here. Is all protected, and they've tried several times to find ways to rip it down. This here is quite interesting. This fence here is...
Graham Door says, "Hi Steve from sunny Australia."
Oh no, I'm very jealous. I've got family in Parks and Sydney and all sorts, so I'm hoping to go there again in the next year or so, take the kids for the first visit. Yeah, so this fence line across here, cyclist. This is a very busy route here, so it does need to be protected. But this fence is the old works. So behind it was the GWR works. Both sides of here, in fact. This was a massive railway works in the day where they used to build locomotives and repair them and stuff. It's about halfway between Bristol and London on the GWR main line. So Brunel chose this as a site to sort of maintain everything. So right here, I'm just going to go across the other side of the group. right here is going to be 2 massive industrial units as part of the plan, and there is industrial here because it's over here, but it seems to be a massive waste of space considering the amount of land in Swindon. On the other side, like there's a big Honda site which is closed down and is being redeveloped, where they can keep the industry and they could use this as space to build more flats, which would gain the development more money, so which would pay for this route through for the canal. So the canal would have been, I think it's actually slightly to the right here of where we are now, and ran down through sort of here. So the idea is they need a 30-metre width here to take the canal and the towpath, which would be the cycleway before. So we need to go into that site just a little bit. Now, development around canals adds about 20% onto it. So there is money in it for the developers if they actually went down the route of reinstating the canal, or at least putting it, saving the route for it to happen. They are talking about the fence now, so this has been live streamed by Save the Oasis campaign as well, I think it is, and the Adver are doing bits as well. So if you look through my community and on sort of Facebook, I have shared various petitions, especially in the past few days, so you should be able to see what's happening. Sorry if it's a bit jittery as well. I wasn't expecting to use my phone.
They're currently talking about the industrial units that, as you already said, that's going to be here, and they've also got a copy of the plans, so they're actually just showing the plans as well.
Oh, perfect. I'll try and grab those in a second and see them. How many people have turned out, do you know?
So we had booked in, let me go back into Chloe's phone because it's on Chloe's.
Putting her on the spot, always fun.
I know we had more than actually booked.
Excellent.
Which is great. So I'll go back into Eventbrite. So we've had 33 people checked in.
Excellent.
And I know we've got a few more than actually has booked in, because they'd seen it on Facebook, and they've also seen it in the Swindon Advertiser, so they've actually come because they've seen it.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, without this, the canal can't happen, can it?
No, it can't, and that's the thing. If you need this part to go up to the Thames and Severn stretch, up to Latin Basin, for it to start to make a ring, and that's the thing. It's going to make 2 rings. So like you got the Thames ring.
Yeah.
This would make another 2 rings to go to join up Thames, Kent and Avon, and so it's something that's needed. Yeah,
definitely. If you don't know the network around here, basically the Wilts and Berks, which is the main canal, runs from Semmington on the Kent and Avon, which is kind of near Melksham.
Between Melksham and Trowbridge.
Yeah. And then it runs up to Abingdon on the Thames. And the North Wilts Canal was actually built originally because there was quite a bad bend on the Thames. So boats coming down from the Cotswolds to the Wilts and Berks or further had to navigate this dangerous bend. So they built the North Wilts to create a shortcut across, so you didn't have to do that bend. And what's going to happen now, it's not got an industrial use, obviously, because nobody is kind of doing canals for goods anymore. But what it does allow you to do is it allows you to create rings, like Peggy said, and those rings are going to be, this I can guarantee you, if it gets restored with the Cotswold and the Wilts and Berks restored, will be very busy. And it's worth a lot of money to the network, isn't it?
It's something like, I think it works out, it's something like 1.2 billion per so much of the canal?
Yeah, so a mile of canal is generally
how much it raises.
Yeah, so if you took 100,000 visitors on average to a canal per mile, and they all spend about £10, so it's worth about £1 million per mile on the canal network. In an area like Swindon, you're talking a lot more than that. You're probably talking 1.5 to 2 million, because it's a built-up area. So people want to more here. They want to come through, and holiday makers and stuff will also come through.
So you've had another message. So what's he in Dingy? Says, good day, Steve. Keep at 'em. Fingers crossed for a sensible and forward-thinking outcome.
Swindon Council, are you listening to that? What's in Dingy, one of my members as well. Thanks for all the continued support. Swindon Council are not always forward thinking about these things, unfortunately, and this is part of why this march is happening today, so we can try and convince them to turn this petition down, turn the development down. Now, I do know that there's a lot of objections, not just from people like myself and the trusts and the Oasis, but from highways and water and everybody, because there's just not the infrastructure to build what they want. Now, it's 700 odd flats, isn't it?
700.
With how many parking spaces?
I think it's about 200 or something.
So 200 or something. I said 100, so I wasn't far off.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, most of the time when you build a property now, you need 2 parking spaces per,
Yeah, you do.
because, you know, mum and dad might drive a car, kids might have a car. You know, it's definitely needed. So they haven't even got 1 per property, which is incredible. I mean, you've got the train station just behind us, but that's still not going to be enough to sort of maintain it. It's going to be gridlock in here, and the highways know that. Just the getting away from the site as well isn't ready for it. They don't think the 200 is enough for the leisure centre, let alone all the for the housing as well. So right, I think we're on a march now. They're carrying a dinghy down. Hopefully one day they can actually use the dinghy in the water. But yeah, very, very good turnout. I'll try and get some interviews with people. We've got a Save the Oasis campaign. He's also live streaming. I'll see if I can grab him at some point. Yeah. So now we're walking down past the industrial units. If you saw the bit I did on the Points West and Southern, whatever the BBC is in the south, then that's up ahead here. You can see the bridge just coming in, just on the end there. So what do we want from this? We want to raise awareness, we want to make a noise, and we want people to sign petitions and get involved. So first thing, if you can, please go onto the Wilts and Berks Canal Trust Facebook page and give them a like. That way you can keep up to date with what's happening. They also have a YouTube channel which you can subscribe to. They put updates occasionally about what's happening down here. And Save the Oasis on Facebook. So as it sounds, Save the Oasis. Join them. They are one of the main groups campaigning against this. I think they've just hit 5,000 members on there, so they've got quite a big voice on this as well. So this is a lot of industrial on this side. So the site basically comprises of housing to the north, industrial to the west, which is to our right, the town centre to the south, which is the direction we're going in, and I think to the east is housing again. There's a college up there and stuff as well. I've covered this bit in my videos before though, so you can see a gateway just starting to appear there. Now that's the old entrance to the works, the GWR works, and it's quite a cool feature. So this fence will have to be removed, but hopefully it can be saved and put back a little bit further. It'd be a shame to lose sort of a history here. I'll just take you up and see what we can see. The Oasis is on the other side. I can't remember what this site was here, but it was like more recently. It was obviously the works before, but it's just wasteland now. I think it was a warehouse before actually. You can see it's just overgrown. Obviously no drone shots today because I don't know how to do that. Oh, they're a photo opportunity, I think. No, it's just overgrown. Photographer for the trust. Yeah, so hopefully these can be saved. I'm not sure what the plan is with the development at all, whether they can be saved. There is a steam museum in the town, which is kind of just over in that direction, which has loads of sort of locomotives and carriages and all sorts involved with the absolutely colossal works that are here. Google it, put up another screen and Google Swindon GWR works and you'll see just how big it was. It was insane. It was only really sort of when the steam railways came to an end in the 60s and a bit before that and the diesel started coming in, that really this site fell into disuse. But yeah, could do with a bit of a repair. Yeah, as someone just said, we might have another protest on our hands if these are removed or not. But we don't mind them being removed if they're pushed back, as long as they're kept. And it's a shame to lose them on this site, but getting a canal and a cycle path through here would obviously be preferable with them moved rather than the developers just building up to them and destroying them anyway. So what we don't want to do whilst restoring the heritage of the canal is destroy other heritage. So most of us have pretty strong opinions that things like that do need to be saved as well. So one thing that is good about this is it's really easy to get through. As you can see, we're coming over a bit of a graffiti bridge. Now there's enough room for the canal channel through here for a single boat passing. It's only a narrow canal, it's not a broad canal. So you'll easily get a channel in on kind of this side, beyond this side of the white line, and still get the cycle path. It'll be a bit more of a pinch than the whole path is now, but it's only for sort of 2 sections really. This is where the BBC interview was. I was walking up from past that lamppost and then stood through there. Now the Oasis site is just up above there. I'm going to see if I can climb up and have a look at it. 2 seconds. Probably more wobbly than normal. In fact, I'm running up some steps. So this site isn't actually closed off, and they are filming something here at the moment. So there has been a bit of work done to clear it, so they can make, I don't know, a film or something, or a TV series. So this is, you can't see the dome, but this is the sports hall here, which is, I think this is the sports hall where the gigs were. Yeah, it's the back of the sports hall. So the dome is just on the other side there. Let me walk up and I can drop back down on another path. So this needs to be saved. Swindon needs a venue really, and this was a very good one. They're on about building another music venue, I think where the bus station was. They're building a pointless bus boulevard in town which replaces what was part of the canal. I won't go too much into councillors that have approved all of this, but there's someone who definitely didn't like the canal because the previous councillor had supported it so much. Sorry if I'm a bit sniffly as well, I've got a cold. So this is still used, kind of the skate park over there, but most of it's abandoned. And what you can see now, some of the famous slides coming out. I think there were 3 of them. I can see 2. Oh yeah, they're out the side. And they were different difficulty levels, and there's the dome. So it's quite unique. Developers tried to destroy it, saying that it was not eco-friendly, lost too much heat, but they were made to keep it. Let me turn you around a sec. So this site, this could all be saved. Flats built along the edge over sort of where the canal line is, which we've dropped back down to now. Plenty of parking could be put here, and they don't need those industrial units. Where those industrial units are going to go, why not put a little marina, and around that you could have more apartments and employment still there with bars and restaurants and stuff, which if you look in any major city like Bristol, where they've redeveloped the harbour side, Birmingham, you've got Gas Street Basin, you've got Manchester, Castlefields, loads of areas. It's absolutely transformed the town, and that's what's needed here really. Yep, Richard Dobson, Swindon Town Centre is indeed crap. I'll probably get a little mark for swearing now. Yeah, it's really run down. It's all boarded up. It's just full of undesirables now. They spent no money on the town centre at all. All they seem to care about is how many houses they can build on the outskirts. Now the canal will run right through the town centre, and there are several campaigns by MPs like Heidi Alexander and stuff to get the canal through. So if that can be done, then this becomes the next natural section to do, and it's going to be worth millions and millions to the local economy. It's well worth doing. So we're now dropping down a path now. You can see the group, and this wall on that side is the old wall for the works. It's heritage as well. What you have got is on the top of that wall you can see those metal rings down there that used to carry I think gas pipes and stuff. And you've also got some arches in here as well, which should have been the entrance into the works. I'm going to try and find Chloe and see if she wants to say something on camera. I can't see her at the moment. Yeah, I can see the comments as well, they're on the bottom.
Brilliant.
Oh, my hands are freezing, it's quite cold today. Yeah, this area isn't known for its friendliness through here either, as you can probably tell by the artwork. They call it Mugging Alley and stuff and all that lot. So actually having a canal and having people using it for that will clean this area up naturally anyway. Yeah, 36 years, so I'm 40. I've been coming to Swindon since I was a kid. We didn't have a lot of money as a kid, and our birthday treat was going to Wolves to buy a toy, which is quite sad, I know, but that's what it was like. So as a teenager, I moved in with my dad, a bit more money, so we used to come here all the time. Used to come to the Oasis Leisure Centre, used to come into town, which was really good. It was a brilliant town centre. What else? Used to go watch Swindon Town. Bit better at the moment, but not always a good story, that one. Yeah, so Swindon has gone from being a really desirable place to come and visit to nobody wants to go near the town centre. And all you see on the local groups all the time is how scared people are of coming into town. They don't feel safe anymore. And we need something like a canal to help rejuvenate the area. It's not the only option, it's not the only answer, but it is definitely part of the bigger picture. It's a bit better through here, hopefully, because that's an old development. That used to be, I think it was BT headquarters or something like that. Let me just change hands a sec, 'cause my hand is freezing. And so there's actually a bit of play here. So this bank could be cut and then a retaining wall built on there without encroaching into the site, and there'd be enough room then for the canal and the cycle path. Unfortunately, that doesn't leave a lot of room for nature, but there are trees and greenery just kind of around that site, so it does help a little. Right, who can we find to talk to? Chloe must be up front. Oh, there's another group further on. I think she's -12 in Poland. Oh, yeah, no thanks. I want to come to Poland soon, actually. Well, you're not from Poland, you're from Swindon. Yeah, there's a old Nazi canal. Went from Kaliningrad. What is Kaliningrad now? It was East Prussia before. And there's still quite a lot of the remains of it that go up through into Poland. It's just a bit of a dodgy area at the moment, obviously, especially with a drone. Basically, not all developers see the potential of the canal, the project this is. So yeah, 20% is added. All they see is land loss. They don't see potential for anything else. Now, they don't have to restore the canal for us. We'll do that. Just give us the land. Let's have that little strip of land. We'll put a canal in, we'll put water in, and then you can develop around it. We wouldn't even have to put water in it at this stage. We just need the route protected so it can happen. Total return won't be less on it, but yeah, faster return on investment because the canal may not necessarily be open at the start. Yeah, it definitely needs police on the beat, but they aren't anywhere. Lit pick before, yeah. It's just mismanagement again, police, council, lots of things. You know, when I was a kid, we always saw police around. We always saw someone with a cart going around picking up rubbish, but you don't see them nowadays. This is quite a cool mural on the bridge. So this is, again, more heritage. So this is the Great Western Railway above us here. And what you had here was a whole load of sidings came off on either side of here for the works. And this is quite a long tunnel, as you can see. It's been extended several times, but I'll show you more as we go through it. I won't mention the developer's name, but it's widely available online. Legal purposes. Yeah, I don't want to put myself in trouble by mentioning names. I didn't mention them on the main video either. It's got a number in it. I'll just say that much. So I don't know, this section over here, look, there's some steps going up. I don't know what that was originally, because I'll show you some arches in here in a minute which were old access to the works. There's another similar tunnel further down which goes into the works on the other side of those tracks as well. Cold. It's not just me, it's freezing, isn't it?
My hands are so cold.
The problem is, look, I'll try and show you. So obviously I've got one, this hand's got my phone in and this hand's got the mic in. I could clip it to me, but when I talk to other people, if I've got it clipped to me, you don't hear them. So I need to point it at people. So both my hands are cold, I can't hide them. A bit of a wuss probably, I know, but I'm a summer boy, I love the summer. This site, I won't mention it because yeah, legal purposes. Yeah, Carl, GT. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Most churches are funded by the sort of Church of England or whoever, so they should probably be funding that. The church has got an insane amount of money. I come from a religious family. My wife and kids go to church and stuff, so I've got no issues with religion before you think that. But also, all of this stuff, all the Wilts and Berks is largely volunteer. There's a few full-time staff, but it's largely volunteer. So churches could easily have some of their parishioners and stuff just to kind of clean these things up. So yeah, there are certainly ways around bringing more money to be able to put into different projects, but the council don't think like that. Right, here we go. So this is, you'll see lots of different types of brick through here. I think this dark brick is the original bridge that went over the canal, and then it was extended. But what you've got right here is, you can see the arch there. So this was an old entrance into the works. Another thing you've got here is you'll see these lights changing and going from green to blue, and it is going at the speed of a narrow boat, the green bit, of how quickly a boat would pass through here. So there's lots of little things. I believe somewhere there's some other stuff right on them. I can't remember where though. I might have gone past it actually. I've got the mic is a clip-on mic, Jason Baker, but like I just said, if I clip it onto me when I'm speaking to other people, it doesn't pick them up as well. So I'm using it as like a handheld. I can clip it onto the case of my pocket camera, and it just acts as like a normal handheld. There's the boat sailing its way through. I'm not sure how far we're going, if we're going into town today. As you can see, so this must have been the original actually, then that was an extension, then the red at the end was an extension. So you can see different bricks all the way through. It's quite cool to see these things, you know, the eras. And again, another arch up into the works on this side. Chloe's going to make a video for down here, which is going to explain all of the features down on the canal down here, the lights and stuff, all the things that have been put in. So on this end, you've got, I don't know if you can see this, it might be too bright behind, but it says the North Wilts Canal run through here and helped attract the GWR to Swindon. So this is where it gets a bit interesting for the development in the town, and the hope is to go through basically the gap over there. So the canal would have ran straight ahead here, which obviously isn't possible now, and then there would have been a junction which would have took you onto the Wilts and Berks, which is on kind of where the Debenham site was in Swindon, and then it ran kind of down past the county ground, Swindon ground, and out, and ran down through the centre of Swindon just behind there in a place called Canal Walk, which is where all the main shops are. If you look over there on the background, you can see railway works first off. This is a railway wall and works, and in the background there is the Mechanics Institute, which is, Google it, is a absolute disgrace what Swindon Council and the parties that own it have allowed to happen. Another bad contract handed out. It's just been left to ruin. Hopefully someone will see sense and sort that out soon. But Swindon has done an awful job of maintaining its heritage. The railway steamworks and stuff is there, but most of the heritage in Swindon is just bulldozed for these new sort of modern clad and terrible buildings. It's just it's terrible. This here, the houses here, the old railway village, and that's quite famous. And one of the plans is to take the canal through there, but the problem is the canal was never through there, and it's an old railway village. It's quite unique in this country, so it's not an ideal route really, because again it goes back to my point I made earlier of destroying heritage with heritage. So you don't really want to do that. You can see the railway lines just up there. I'm always up for meeting people, Jason, if you want to come along. Whereabouts are you based? Feel free to message me. My email is courtabovethecut@yahoo.com. But yeah, I'm planning to work with a few sort of smaller YouTubers and stuff. Oh, there's an applause going on. Sorry, I'm not actually listening to anything anyone else is saying. I'm just here chatting away to you. I don't shut up. Hello, how you doing? Nice to see you. Do you mind being on camera?
Sorry?
Do you mind camera?
I don't mind being on camera.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. A bit warmer now, we've got to the end of this.
Yeah.
But this is a wonderful part of Swindon because you've got the railway village just over there.
Yeah. And hopefully linking up with your section.
Hopefully, yes.
Yeah, so
I chair the branch at Royal Wootton Bassett. And my back garden is where the canal used to be.
you've got boats down there now as well, haven't you? You've got boat trips running down.
We've got boat trips. We'll be starting off at the end of April. Every Saturday, we hope. We've got enough crew for that. We just need to make sure the boat's fully working and it doesn't keep catching on the bottom because it's silting up. That's the trouble. There's a river runs into the canal and brings down the silt.
Yeah, and it wasn't that long ago there were no boats at all, and there's a work boat down there as well as the narrow boat. So it's going to take a little while to kind of churn it all up as such and send it through. And with the river running through all the time as well, it doesn't help things, does it? So what we really need is a lot more traffic on there. So join the sections up, bring the canal into Swindon. There's various plans to do that. The M4 crossing being one of them, which is behind the scenes at the moment, isn't it? So,
it is.
but once that's done, it's very easy to join the Whitchurstow sections with the Wootton Bassett sections. So.
That's it. But even now, if you want to walk, you need your wellies in winter time, but you can walk from where I live to Swindon, mostly along the canal, and it takes 2.5 hours.
And that's the other thing about restoring these canals, is you're not just restoring it for boaters and stuff, you're restoring it as a commuting route. And Wootton Bassett is a large town on the edge of a very large town, so there's a lot of people that come from Wootton Bassett into Swindon, so it makes sense to have that commuting route all the way through. So we need to protect bits like this, because although this won't stop the main line of the canal happening, it's going to stop a very important link which will make the canal a lot quieter. So it's very important to get this done and protect this route. Thank you very much. Let's see if I can get Chloe for a second. Oh, sorry, that was a bit close to my chins then, wasn't it? Northampton. Oh, I was meant to film up there last year. I went to a waterways conference, a restoration conference with the IWA, and I was going to film because there's some quite interesting river locks down there. I stayed in what was a Premier Inn and is now an independent, and there's a restaurant next to it. It was actually quite a nice hotel and very cheap. But the thing went on longer than I thought, and I had to get back, so I never did in the end. But yeah, Northampton is managed by the IWA, I think, as well. It's not CRT. It's quite a nice little area of river that's been canalised as well. Yeah, so I think the march is over, but again I want to remind you to click on, I'll put some links on my socials this afternoon. Please do click on one of those, sign up to any petitions and stuff you can, save the Oasis, everything, because the more people that object to this on different grounds, the better we're going to get along with it. So here's Chloe, hang on a second. Would you like to say something?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Want me to go over there for?
Yeah. Try and stop the background noise a little bit. So you've seen Chloe on my videos before, probably. You're the chair of the Swindon branch.
Swindon branch chair and head of comms for the Canal Trust.
So how important is this to the trust?
Vitally important. Yeah, this is vitally important. We've had a real good show of strength today, showing that people do want a blue and green linear corridor through Swindon. You know, we're not saying to Southern Capital we're going to reinstate the canal tomorrow. What I'm saying is, please can we protect the route and make this a green corridor for the future? You know, for people to enjoy now, and in the future we can reinstate the canal as and when we join up.
Yeah, without any protection, there's not, because obviously the main line is protected for 30 meters, isn't it, all the way along?
The main line has a 30-meter width in plan.
This hasn't.
Yeah. So when they build through the eastern villages, it's not set in stone. We still have to fight every hook and nail for each bit.
Yeah.
But the planners will see that, you know, in planning, in law, there is a 30-meter corridor to be allowed for. Unfortunately, with the North Wilts Canal, that isn't the case. It's just a line on the map. There's no defined width.
Yeah.
So when we first started, when we were on that narrow section with the railings either side, that's what we could be left with. And if that happens, there's no future.
Can't. The cycle track's too busy to narrow it as such, isn't it? Obviously, pinch points like the bridges are a bit different, but the main line you want to keep as wide as possible. So
the only pinch point will be this section here, and that was where the canal went through originally.
Yeah.
So we're only reinstating the historic route.
And it is a narrow canal, so you're only going to take half of that tunnel up, aren't you?
We're only going to take half the tunnel.
Yeah.
And one pinch point compared to the economical and environmental benefits of the canal.
I think it's
way outstanding. You know.
The edge of town where the canal is now in Kings Hill to up to here is about 2 miles. Is that right?
Miles,
yeah. So we're probably talking £4 million to the local economy.
So the Canal Trust at the moment are looking to get from Kings Hill, where we're in water, up to Wharf Green in the town centre.
Yeah.
We're working with the council at the moment to say, look, we really want to reinstate that route, you know, as feasibly as quick as possible. That gives the people in the town centre a direct link to the canal, and hopefully in the near future a direct walk, cycle route and so on straight to Wootton Buses.
Yeah, that's what we've just been speaking about actually. Even short term, having that route from Wharf Green, which is basically a multi-storey car park in Swindon and where sort of McDonald's is in the town, through to the new developments at Wichelstow is going to give a commuter route even in that small section. If you can get that further, which there will be with links with the tunnel that's already been put in place for the road, and through to Wootton Bassett, then you're laughing because you're going to take so much traffic off the roads. So it all makes sense. It's all massive for the economy.
The longevity of this route will connect us to Cricklade.
Yeah.
Where we're just about to sign a fresh deal to reinstate Malden Hill. We're going to renovate the Malden Hill stretch adjacent to the country park. That's a good mile stretch. And we'll get that back in water with a restored tow path. And there'll be sort of environmental benefits there as well.
And this route, this cycleway practically runs that entire route, doesn't it? There's bits and places in between, but there is a route almost through the whole lot. Where we started the video, just behind there, there's an industrial estate, but there are plans to get around that as well. So it's all doable. It's not too hard to do, really. So
I always say to people, the Canal Trust is a 500-piece jigsaw puzzle.
Oh, it is definitely.
Nobody chucks a jigsaw puzzle on their table and just completes it in a day.
Exactly
You start with corners. You start where you've got bits connected, and you work on that, and that's how we've been building.
Yeah. So thank you very much. I'm going to try and get the. Oh, he's there. I'll try and get him in a second. There's Save the Oasis guide, just so he can tell you a little bit about the product. Yeah, Neil just there. So he's talking to someone at the moment. But what Chloe's saying is completely right. These restorations don't happen overnight, and especially one like the Wilts and Berks, which is 72 miles. You know, it takes a little while to do it. But there are work parties going on all through. It's split into different groups. I think it's 5 groups. And like where I am in Chippenham, there's loads going down on the Pewsham. And if you go through every section, there's stuff happening. Now, this can't happen in one go. We need to protect everything we can from being developed, and it's not saying it's going to happen next year if it's protected. It's saying let's protect the route so when it does get to that point we can reinstate it. And if the planned developments in Swindon Town Centre go ahead, which is desperately needed, it needs bulldozing and starting again mostly, then this becomes a very real possibility to connect. And at that point then, from kind of the end of here back through into Swindon, around the eastern villages and Wootton Bassett, I think you've got something like 7 or 8 miles of canal. So you'll have boats on that at that point. You can use it for drop your boat and live on it and stuff, which creates a revenue for the trust. So bits like this are important to try and just protect what's going to happen in the future. And no worries, Giles Cod, another member. I don't mind giving my Sundays up. I'd only be I don't know what I'd be doing, doing something else. So my wife's doesn't like the cold, and even my kids, so we'd probably just end up going and not doing a lot anyway. Yeah, Right, he's still talking at the moment, so thanks for, I don't know I can't see how many people are watching this. I've got 25 people at the moment actually, so yeah, people are watching, so that's good to see. So it's starting to quieten down a little bit now. Most people are sort of going, just some people hanging around, but yeah, there was a good turnout, 40 odd plus people, I'd say, I guess. The advert here, there we go, that gentleman there is Robin L, so if you ever see his posts, he does some very good stuff on the Wilts and Berks, about the old bridges and stuff. But yeah, join the Facebook page. The Swindon branch have their own page as well, so look for WBCT Swindon branch, where you can keep an eye on it. On the rail, rail maps. So Jason Baker again, rail maps online. I'm guessing that's what you mean. Which sections are those? It's hard to say right now which sections you're on about. Most of the route is kind of there in some degree, or a planned route is done. So most of it through Swindon from here is on old cycle tracks. Behind the town centre over here is a little bit more difficult but doable with development. Then you go into the Witchellstowe sections kind of over in that direction, which are in place. And Wootton Bassett area is largely restored with a few small sections and bridges needed. And then you get into areas like Seven Locks, which is a bit more difficult. Going away from Swindon in the other direction towards the east, there's bits and pieces in place around sort of Wantage area. There's Shrivenham Canal Park, and there's another canal park being done at the moment. The eastern end becomes more difficult because of a reservoir development. It's been in the making for 30 years and still don't really know what's happening with it. Now that cuts the canal line, so they're trying to get a route around there. I'll try and share that as well later. So most of it is easy enough to do if the land can be purchased. The volunteers will do all the work, so the cost is just in like building the locks and the bridges really. Right, any more questions? I'll try and get, hold on 2 seconds. Do you mind saying something about the Oasis? Hello. So yeah, you run the Save the Oasis campaign on Facebook, so please click on Facebook and give that a like. How important is this to you?
I think it's important for Swindon that we keep our leisure facilities and also our heritage, because the canal I can see is an important part where the canal tied in to the railway heritage, so I can see that link between the canal and obviously the Oasis site is built on where the Great Western Railway Works was, so I can see how important it is to keep it for Swindon. It's frustrating that Severn Capital and the council can't see the positive reasons for bringing it back. Obviously, you know, the land value, it increases the cost of the properties, and it makes it more attractive for people to live here. So yeah, we're all in support of the canal coming back, absolutely, because it's just a land grab for Severn Capital, really, isn't it?
100%. Yeah,
that's all they want. They don't care about the leisure facilities. They don't care about the canal. They just want to squeeze as much profit, as much high-rise apartments and warehouses.
Yeah, I mean, parking for a leisure centre and 700 flats at 200 spaces is just insane. And like I said on this video already, on this live stream, the Oasis site was nationally important. It's been, as a kid, I used to come from Chippenham, which isn't that far to come, but people used to come from all over the country because it's just an amazing wave machine, and it's just a completely unique swimming pool. So that needs to be protected as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's an iconic site, and we want it back in full, not just the swimming pool, but the sports hall, because you know, we're a town of what, 240,000 people now, and that sports hall was Wiltshire's biggest. It can accommodate 8 badminton courts. You know, we need places to play indoor sports. They keep building all these little hubs around Swindon football pitches, but we need the sports hall back. It's iconic. We want the leisure centre back in full.
Badminton and stuff like that, which is played inside.
Why can't Severn Capital build all the houses across the road where they want to put their warehouses, put them there? What they need to do is rejig the site completely. You know, it's clearly like looking at the turnout today, these plans aren't working.
I think they could easily build most of the apartments and flats along the edge of the canal, which would increase their value, which would leave the hall as a possibility. As you say, on that site at the top, I keep saying they could put a marina in, so they could have bars and restaurants, which would provide probably as much employment as a couple of warehouses would, and have apartments above them, so everyone wins. You get to develop even more apartments on the site and have space for leisure and tourism, basically. Now, like I said before, I've watched loads of gigs in the sports hall there, and so that's another nighttime thing. Because Swindon nightlife is. You don't need to say any more than that,
I'm just
do
so
you?
disappointed. I grew up in Swindon. I'm a Swindon lad. I grew up
Yeah.
here, like, you know, in the 90s. Swindon was an amazing place. Everyone wanted to live here. You know, the Oasis was buzzing. You know, we want that buzz back
Yeah.
in this area. We don't want the Oasis to be dwarfed by high-rise apartments. You know, the Canal would bring life back to this area. The sports would bring life back into it. Let's just not just have another developer come along.
Yeah. More concrete
Restore the
jungle.
Oasis, more concrete jungle.
Yeah.
More, I mean, the whole point of the Oasis is including the name. It was to build like an escapism sort of attraction, like, you know, simulating holiday under a dome. That's
Yeah.
why they built it.
Yeah.
You know, that's
And
all
it was special, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was a special place.
Yeah.
And it needs to come back and forth.
I've lived in a few different places in the country, and there's not a leisure centre like the Oasis was. And I feel sad. I've got 2 young kids. I can't bring them to it. I would love to bring my kids to them in there because there's just so much to do. There were kids' pools, there was a wave machine, there was slides, big slides, little slides, everything. It was fantastic.
I just don't get the developer, because obviously they've got their own agenda, build flats, get their money, move on, is what they want.
Yeah,
to do.
they don't care about
No.
what the
People
site's going to be like after.
No.
They're just worried about how much money they can milk out of it.
If I was Southern Capital, I would capitalise on the fact that Oasis band's coming back this year. I'd be like, okay, we're going to bring back the centre where the band got the name from. Let's make something special here. Let's bring back the Oasis, you know, with a
Yeah.
bang, you know, in full, and make people happy. And, you know,
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Liam and Noel, if you're watching,
Yeah.
get involved.
Get involved, yeah, please get involved, because
Yeah.
you know, this is now or never, isn't it, really? Because they're
Yeah.
going to make the decision over the next couple of
That's the point. You're not going to make. If you don't do it now, you're not
Yeah.
doing it. So let's save it now while
Yeah,
we
save
can.
it,
Yeah.
save the whole site
Yeah.
for.
And that development, restoring that leisure centre, so away from the canal now, restoring the leisure centre and the sports hall will bring a lot of people into the town, which will then mean probably bars and restaurants might start opening in the town centre again. So it's, you know, it's like dominoes. You put one piece in and it falls and everything else follows. So yeah, we need to get this done.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Like I said, support that page if you can. Right, I think I'm going to end this here now. So I've spoke to everybody who want to get on those pages. I'll share them all. Oh, actually, hang on. I've got some more comments, I think. Right, Lord Stiff Upper Lip. Yes, you're right, but it's completely different. So existing canals are managed 2,000 odd miles is CRT, and things like this aren't owned in the slightest by CRT. I don't know if they own any of the old Wilts and Berks line. This was abandoned in 1914 after a collapse in 1901. So CRT aren't involved. This is done purely by charity, funding and various other places, normally achieved privately. CRT probably won't take the canal on once it's open. It'll be carried on to be managed by a group, probably the Wilts and Berks Canal Trust carrying on. So they do need more money. I agree 100% with you. They need a lot more funding from central government. The canal network is worth £6.2 billion to the UK economy and various other things. So that includes health and well-being, which you get from a green and blue corridor, more people exercising, you save money for the NHS, as well as a large portion of that being to the local economy. And the government gives something like, I think it's £42 million at the moment, and in real terms that's going down drastically. The funding's not going up. I think the funding is going to be cut, and then with inflation and stuff, the money doesn't go anywhere. It probably could cost them £200,000 to restore and maintain a lock, so new gates and bits and pieces done. And I don't know how many locks are in the country. It's a good question if anyone knows it, but you can imagine how much that costs. So CRT definitely need more funding, but this is, apart from that, it's nothing to do with that. I don't think anyone was from the council here, Janice, again. I didn't see anybody. I know the Advil were here, which is a local paper, as well as the groups, the Wilts and Berks and the Save the Oasis. Any quick questions? I'm going to go off in a couple of minutes, so if you've got any more questions, please ask them. If not, put it in the comments and I'll try and answer it as well. I'll take a minute to plug my new channel. Have a look at Court Exploring. So I'm going to be doing a lot of railway stuff. It's not really got anything on at the moment because I was ill, but I'm going to start recording in the next couple of weeks hopefully, and have another channel going so I can do a bit more history away from the canals. So please do have a look and sign up to that. Also, like I said, sign up to the Wilts and Berks Canal Trust if you can. They take members, and it's only works out about, I don't know, £1 something a month. It's not even £2 a month, I don't think. More membership basically means they get more support when it comes to funding and things like this, where they're trying to appeal issues on the route. And if you haven't watched it, I had a literal video go up this this weekend, last night. That's doing very well already. Very popular, lots of comments and high views as well, so please do have a look at that. But as I've got no more comments, I'm going to sign off now. Thank you very much for watching. I know this is a long video, but it was needed to show just how much support this has. And let's save this route, let's save the Oasis, let's try and save Swindon. Come on. Now I've got to figure out how to stop this. See that one?